Today's lesson is on simplifying fractions by using GCF. So this is going to be the first part of the two. We're going to use greatest common factor in order to simplify fraction. The part two is going to be prime factorization, where we use a prime number to simplify fraction. So I am going to use this sentence or this equation, 8 over 28. I need to simplify this fraction. And first thing I need to do is figure out what factors make 8 and what factors make 28. And the greatest one that they have in common, I'm going to divide both of the numerator and the denominator by that number, and I'll have the simplest form. So here we go. So the GCF, in order to find the factor, I'm going to treat it kind of like the way we've been working with prime numbers. So I know 1 times 8 is 8, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 does not work, 4 is already here, 5, 6, 7, 8 is already here, 9, 10, none of those are going to have factors that I can multiply to make 8. So therefore, I'm going to list out the factors of 8, which is 1, 2, 4, and 8. Now, next step, I'm going to look for the factors that makes 28. Same procedure. 1 times 28 is 8. This is an even number, so I know it can be divisible by 2. Therefore, 2 times 14 is 28. 3 does not work. 3 can't multiply by anything to get to 28. 4 times 7 is 28. Again, 5 doesn't work. 6 does not work. 7's already here. 8 doesn't work. 9 does not work. And 10 does not work. So that means here are all our factors, the ones that I am not crossing out. And 28 has the factors of 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. Now, I'm looking for the greatest one that is shared by the two of them. So therefore, looking at this list, it's definitely not 1, 2, it's going to be 4. So if my GCF for this fraction, it's 4. My next step, I am going to divide this fraction by my GCF. So here's 8 divided by 4, 28 divided by 4, which gives me 2 7. So simplest form for this fraction, it's 2 7. Okay, now we're going to look at one more example here. And let's see if I can get this board nice and clean pretty quickly. This next example, we're going to look at one that actually has a prime number. A lot of us think, oh, there's a prime number, so it's automatically in the simplest form. And that is not necessarily true. So we're going to look at a equation, or not necessarily equation, the fraction that is 13 over 78. Okay, so again, following the same procedure, first step I'm going to do is figure out what makes 13, what factor makes 13. We know 13 is already a prime number, so only 1 and 13 is going to make 13. However, 78 is not a prime number, and we are going to go through the same steps. So 1 times 78 gives us 78. 2 times 39 gives us 78. Can it go into 3? Yes, 3 times 2 is 6, so we have 18 left over. 3 times 26 gives us 78. Now does 4 work? 4 goes into 7 one time, 38 left over, that means it doesn't work. 5 doesn't work because we know the product has to end with 0 or 5. 6 goes into 7 one time, and we have 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. So therefore, 6 times 13, it's 78. Now 7, we know it doesn't work. 8, there's nothing. And 9, none of those work, so we're going to stop there. So again, I'm going to list this out. So we have the 13, the factor that makes 13 is 1 and 13. The factor of 78, it's got a long list. We have 1, 2, 3, 6. We cross these out so I don't confuse myself. And then 13, 26, 39, and 78. Now, there's one that you can see that automatically they have in common, and that's the prime number itself. So 13 and 13 is in common. That means the GCF is 13. Now we're going to divide this fraction into the greatest common factor divided by 13, and 78 divided by 13. Therefore, our simplest form is 1/6. So again, this becomes my simplest form. Okay, so I'm going to back up. This is number 1, part 1. We're using greatest common factor in order to simplify. Now I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to go on to part 2 and show you how to simplify with prime factorization.